Hello, YouTube. This is BUB'S Comics coming at you with the No Faces Comic Chat. Woohoo! Can I get a woohoo?
Woohoo!
There it is. Thank you so much. And with me, as always, I'm BUB'S Comics. I think I said that already. Oh, we got to get this silly thing off. How do I do that? With me, as always, we have Metarog, a.k.a. Roger, say, greetings, fellow Earthlings.
Greetings, Terrans.
Terrans, not Terrence. That's a guy he used to know down in the Miami-Dade area. Not Terrence. He doesn't need your services anymore, Terrence. Thanks. He said Terrans, as in Terra, as in Earth, as in Earthlings. And with us, not as always, but for the first time this evening, I don't think we've had him on before. I'm not quite sure. I don't know that I want him on now, but we're going to put him on anyway. We got Rob Worst, a.k.a. Not Near Mint, Rob Worst.
Oh, hey, yeah. Why would anybody want me on anyway?
I've been asking myself that all day.
How you doing, man?
Doing well. How you doing?
I can't complain. It's the birthday. I finally finished my X-Men run, and now I'm bagging and boarding.
Hey, happy birthday, Rob Worst. It's a hero party. Happy birthday,
Rob.
Worst.
That's the way to celebrate a birthday, or a complete. You're talking about the Uncanny X-Men run, from the 70s.
So what you're seeing before you right now is X-Men 95. These are the last ones I needed to get for 94 all the way through 300.
Ah, very good. Excellent.
Lovely. Well, that's one of my favorites right there.
Well, of course.
First time he's ever solo on a cover.
Solo story, too. Well, mostly.
And he went berserk on those guys, let me tell you that.
Yes.
Oh, at the very end, isn't that when he pops out of a sewer and goes, all right, it's my turn.
Oh, it's fantastic. I love that issue. I've got like three different variations of it.
Yeah, that same voice inflection too, Rob.
After all this time.
You haven't read it?
Well, I've read it in segments online, in trades, but otherwise, I've never read the individual issues. This is the first time I've had every single issue instead of reading it online or through a trade.
Oh, that's fantastic. Oh, you're going to really enjoy that.
Oh, man.
So I should be having 94 come in.
So what was the run you were trying to collect?
For this is just the Claremont run, 94 through 300. And I have way past that, but just for an uninterrupted run, been trying to get 94 through 300 since I was about 20. And then I started dating, and then I went, oh, the hell with that.
So you've been dating for 40 years?
Well, that would mean I've been dating for 20 years, but it's good to know that people know math.
Yeah, some do, some of us do, and some of us are mathematically challenged, shall we say?
Yeah, that's probably about right.
Some know 2 plus 2 equals orange, and others, well, we'll leave it.
With Bub, the laws of physics and of math sometimes take a back seat to logic. You know what I mean?
And nothing wrong.
We call it comics. There's no logic with what we do.
Well, it's true enough. It's true enough.
Hey, you folks.
Oh,
we've got what happened? You just
injury.
No, we got a cat.
Oh, that's all right.
Oh, you got clawed.
Yeah.
No bleeding on camera.
The cat.
No bleeding onto the comics, and no shredding my business clothes. There you go.
Well, that's okay. That's
no shredding the comics either.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's avoid any shredding in comics. Yeah.
All right, we've got Jambo Comics says he was the first tailgater. Yeah. And we're glad to see him. He's got to go get some dinner, but he'll be back. We got Scott Neely's in the house. He's got the window open so I won't miss this episode. What does that mean? No idea. I have no idea what that means. Let's see. We got 1-2 Comic Talk. Greetings. We got Rob Boswell. Nice to have you, fellow Corntuckian. I always wonder what it is hanging out of his mouth in these pictures. You see that picture? Like at first I thought it was a finger and he was like thinking real hard, but where that little like YouTube circle pops up.
Cigar, right?
I hope. Next we got Unruly Simeons in the house. Welcome, Unruly. We got Werewolf by Lunchtime. It's chat-tastic already. Thank you so much, Werewolf. Glad for to have you. Fantastico. Let's see. We have Metarog's in the house. Well, we knew that.
Oh boy.
We got Deadpoolio, the awesome, saying woohoo! Glad to have you. Knights of Old. Oh, Knights of Old.
What?
You know what we say about Knights of Old? Like watching butter melt, baby.
Butter melts. Yeah.
Yeah, that butter's melting, baby. Yeah. Oh, fantastic. Good to have you, brother. We have Jimmy, the Geek Aficionado, which is funny to me because when that's Andy's probably me, I guess. When he says, like, everyone knows that his name is Jimmy, right? But Roger, how do you spell Jimmy?
Jimmy.
Okay. And I've seen it that way as well, but I was, for some reason, and I can't produce any proof, which is often for the things I say, but for some reason, I had it stuck in my head that it was Jimi. And that's it. So and I don't know that that's correct, but that's what I always call him. Like when I'm texting him, I say, "Hey Jimmy, Jimi," and I don't know why, because I see people in the chat all the time call him Jimmy, Jimmy, and he responds. So somebody's got to be right, somebody's got to be wrong. We want to see the birth certificate there, Obama. All right, we got.
On that note, how do you spell Jimi Hendrix?
That is how you spell Jimmy, isn't it?
See, there's a different way to spell Jimmy for everybody. That's why. Me as a court reporter, if someone says my name's John, please spell it. It's John. Screw you. It can be spelled many different ways. How do you spell it?
Hopefully it's not Jon, the dumbest of all Johns. We got
there's plenty of them out there.
We got a house till the end here saying welcome. JP's budget collecting. Nice. K Titus, greetings from Japan. Oh, this time he said hello. See, he tripped me up. Usually he says greetings from Japan, but hello from Japan.
Arigato.
Arigato gozaimasu.
What was that? Say that again, Roger.
Arigato gozaimasu.
There you go.
Like Rob says it better than I do.
I used to know how to speak it, and I lost it.
Really? Have you checked under the couch?
My daughter speaks it.
Yeah, I wish. Instead, the wife and I, back when I was married, we learned how to speak Japanese, and we went over there, knew how to speak it loosely, came back, forgot it within a year because nobody around us knows how to speak Japanese.
Yeah,
that's right.
I can believe that.
That's right.
It's like I knew how to speak Spanish at one point back in high school, but back then there was nobody Hispanic living in here. But now I'm in Miami and I'm going, God, I could use that.
Oh, definitely. Isn't English like the second language down there now? Because when
English is almost superfluous around here.
It is. I mean, you know that, Rob. I worked at the Department of Health right there by the courthouse there downtown. In the.
Oh boy! So you were right by where I work most of the time.
Right by there. Yeah, I'm sure I've probably eaten right in front of those steps probably 100 times.
You would not have noticed me because when you're in a suit, you look like everybody else.
Everybody else. That's right. You're just lemmings at that point.
It's the one good thing I like about wearing a suit because, hey, what did the person look like that committed the crime? He was in a suit.
Suit.
Was he black? Was he white? Was he fat? Was he skinny? He was in a suit.
That was it.
Need anything else?
He had a tie.
It was gray.
Yeah.
Y'all are wrong.
It's true. That's true, though. I mean, it's in the courthouse, everybody wears, well, not everybody, but most everybody wears a suit. You have the defendants, you have attorneys, everybody goes in with a suit.
When I was a kid, I got my first speeding ticket, and I went to court in sneakers and shorts, and they wouldn't let me in. And they kicked me. I had to wait till all court was out of session, and then they let me come in, and the judge reprimanded me for wearing shorts. He's like, don't ever wear shorts in my courtroom. And I was like,
kid, did you want to go to jail?
I mean,
is that just your prerogative?
It was just a speeding ticket. I was like, I had no idea that was a thing. Like, I didn't see a sign outside that said no shorts, no service. So
you think that a speeding ticket is nothing until you realize that a judge has the power to give contempt of court and send your ass to jail.
He told me
jail.
that. He told me. He was like, next time you show up, I'm going to put you in contempt of court. And I felt like saying, have you not seen these calves? I mean, I was like 19, man. I was super proud. I was like, these calves are killer, man. What are you talking about contempt of court? You're lucky more people.
I have a very, very low bar in life. It's two things. At the end of the day, when I go to sleep at night, as long as A, I'm still breathing, and B, I'm not in jail, I call it a win. I've seen actual lawyers get contempt of court, and as they're being led away in handcuffs, and I'm going, do you need the transcript? And they're like, no, I'm
Am I going to
pass that simple bar?
Am I going to get paid for this transcription?
I have to ask that sometimes. I've been asked once in the middle of a trial. It was the very beginning. The jury was just sat. I had one of my coworkers come in, whisper into my ear, and I turned ghost white, looked at the judge, and started gathering all my stuff to leave. And Judge Miller goes, "Son, is everything okay? What's going on?" I was just informed that my client doesn't pay his bills.
Oh, dang.
So it's important as an attorney to pay your bills.
Oh, yes. Very important.
We got Crazy Guy, Comic Song Too Strong. We got I Love Steve and I Love Disney and Comics here. Backseat Driver, 280. I didn't even notice there was ever a number after that. I just call him Backseat Driver. We got Jackson Roy Kirk, but he told me that because we're such good buddies, I can just call him the Jackson Roy Kirk. And we got... Very nice. Thank you for all that. Let's see. Who else we got? We got Not Near Mint. Wait, how did he get it? Who is this guy? I thought he was Rob Worst. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, I changed the name so everything makes sense.
Rob Bosworth swears it's a cigar. Although
it
really looks like he's enjoying his YouTube too much. We got all right, let's see. Knights of Old's enjoying the Butter Baby. So is Jambo. Steve's wondering where Wonder Woman's been all his life. Hey, there you go. It's Jimmy like Hendrix. Thank you, Jimmy. So I win again.
There you go. There you go.
I don't know if I'll be able to convince all the billions of people that call you Jimmy with 2 M's and a Y, but I'll do my part, brother. Comics Mag Musings. I always want to put an S in the middle. I always want to say Comic Mag's Musing, but and move the S around, but I won't.
It's almost like a tongue twister.
It is.
Hit 3 times.
Twister. I believe it. A comic book.
Judging by that dead air, I guess not.
Dead air. What up, dead air?
No, that was.
And we got Comic Books NYC saying, "What's up, guys?"
Hey, Cobby.
We got Chris Barrett. Good to have you. Now I spell my name the normal way. I don't know. Is there 2 R's and 2 T's in Barrett? We'll have to check that out. Metarog's here, of course, because what else has he got to do on a Monday night? We've been monopolizing his Monday nights for about 2.5 years.
Couple years or so, you know. I mean,
chaos in comics equals Rob Worst is greater than Not Near Mint. Nice.
Very nice.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Should I not have changed the name?
I think the general consensus is no, that Rob Worst was pretty cool. If it were me, I'd have put Rob Worst NNM or something like that and kept the Rob Worst because it's a much better name than Not Near Mint. But that's just me personally. You don't have to take my advice, and if you do, that'll be $5.
At this point, I would have to wait 2 years?
Yeah, I think they put you in jail when you change your name.
Yeah, they don't want you to constantly, like Biggie. I don't know if you know, his girlfriend. Yeah, his girlfriend put in by mistake her name in the email. He had to go for Melody for a few months.
That was hilarious.
So it would come out Melody, and he would say, "This is Biggie" every time. When he would comment something. This is Biggie. This is not Melody.
And we've got Bigglesworth and a Bigglesworth in the house. James Gallegos is here. Comic Head 84. What's he doing? Listening during my commute home. Very nice. Thank you for joining us on your commute home. Please pay attention to the road there. Barf, he said. Okay. I don't know. Maybe that was for Rob enjoying his YouTube too much. Chris Barrett's here. I think we got everybody. Chaos and Comics. I tell you, Chaos. The other earlier today, I was replaying some of that stream that he and I were on Two Brothers Comics, and there's about a 3-minute section where Chris and I just laugh, like just hysterically, like crying laughter. It was great. Just monopolizing somebody else's stream. It was good stuff.
Say lay off the weed.
No, I mean, it was late. It was like 2 in the morning.
Yeah.
So
you got the giggles.
Yeah, we had the giggles.
That was like after auctions had closed down or something.
Oh, yeah.
It was really late. Yeah.
It was way past that after the 6-hour marathon.
I spent more than my paycheck.
Yep. Did you? Oh, man.
No, I'm saying that's usually what happens at about 2, 3 in the morning when people get off of the auctions going, oh, God, I just spent my whole paycheck. Hey, me too. And then they just laugh for 3 minutes straight.
That's about right.
That sounds like Tuesday to me.
We got Mark Knapp 68. We got Rob Boswell still in here. I don't know why he's hanging out all those Chaos and Comics. I think we got everybody. All right, and Comic Collector and Ben Compton. All right, we got everybody. Great to have you all. Great to have everybody. Does anyone remember the name of the of our team tonight? Of the chat name, whatever you want to call it. When I say team, people get all nervous. But you know. Whenever you see that's the team name, okay? There's No Faces Comic Chat with the something or another. That's us. Anybody remember who it is? Rob, we'll start with you.
I don't remember anything.
Not a clue, huh?
Do you have Alzheimer's? Do you have Alzheimer's? Do you have Alzheimer's?
You don't nothing sparking your memory there, Sparky?
What's the question? I'm sorry. I was in the middle of answering a text. Sorry, I'm getting shit at every angle from people right now.
All right.
Look at this.
I give up.
Roger, listen.
Help me
Rob
out.
lives in Miami. I'm glad I moved from Miami 12 years ago because everybody I talk to down there is just a little off.
Oh, we're all weird down here.
So I guess I straightened up after 12 years. Not all weird. It's great people down there. Great people.
Well, when you hear the plot,
the traffic will get to.
But when you hear the plot of Tiger King, you go, none of that can be real until you realize half of it takes place in Florida, and you go, oh, that makes sense.
Right.
All right, Roger, save us, will you? What's the team name tonight?
We are. And I'll say this in my best Rob Worst voice.
Good luck.
The Original Originators.
Nice. The Original Originators. How could you not remember that? It was classic. Instant classic, Rob.
You wanted to read the sign?
Yeah. I mean, I sent an email and everything.
It was in the email. Yeah, I remember that.
I quit.
There was an email. I feel like Scott Pilgrim right now. I just clicked on the link. I was like, oh shit, it's 7 o'clock. I better jump in front of the computer.
Oh boy.
All right. Well, I tried, everybody. I mean, not real hard. About as much as usual. I guess Rob's having some technical difficulties, which happens from time to time.
He's having some feline difficulties, I'm thinking.
Yes, probably that as well.
Hey, we got Bake the Snake in here. So he lives right to your south there, Rob, in the Keys. He came in here. Speaking of Floridians.
Yeah, Bake.
Yeah. Now the Keys, that's a whole nother dynamic down there. But
Bake the Snake. Hey, and we have to say, which I know we said kind of already, we got Russ. I got to tell you, he's the guy to beat in my 1,000 subscriber contest. Russ is the guy to beat right now. Now, there have been some great comic book entries, though. There's been maybe 5 entries or 6. I think 6 entries so far.
Yeah. And
I can tell you that there is at least 3 that are really like, I'm having a hard time already choosing. I might have to do a couple of multiple second winners because it's going to be tough to choose between the books, and I may end up just buying them all. So
you haven't seen mine yet.
Well, you got to enter to win.
Well, it's wait till Thursday. I'll be entering.
All right. Well, we got Russ in the house, and where was the other? Where's Bake? There he is.
Bake's in the room.
Where's Bake? He's everywhere in the chat.
I know, but you got to scroll around. You don't know what it's like producing one of these shows, Roger. It's a lot of pressure.
No, I don't. I've only done about 4 or 5 of them myself.
Not
Or Mike's in that. Yeah, but you don't do a very good job. That doesn't.
Rob does one every Wednesday for forever. Come on.
I wouldn't know what I'm doing. Yeah,
I know you know what you're doing.
Through technical difficulties before, which is pretty much all the time.
Have you? Really
it goes pretty smooth. It goes pretty smooth most of the time.
I think so. Yeah. All you gotta do is make sure Lady Fantastic is in focus, and you guys are doing fine.
Yeah,
precisely.
Look at that.
And I've never been able to find Miracle Man on YouTube either,
because he doesn't exist on YouTube. He's a Twitter only person.
Oh, okay, all right. Because I'm looking for this guy everywhere. I'm like, he doesn't have a channel, or I can't see it.
Yeah, look him up at Kimoda 1978, I believe, on Twitter. And he's the guy that's fighting all the trolls.
Okay. All right.
Oh, wow.
We call him a Nazi hunter. He doesn't want to show his face ever because of the type of people he deals with that swat people in real life.
Gotcha. I understand that.
Oh, wow.
That's fine and dandy.
Those people are bad people.
Look at all that's crazy. I do not want to provoke him. He just goes right up to the hornet's nest and
boom.
Oh, wow. Go ahead and give us that special effect again there, Rob. I want to see that again. Wow.
Earthquake.
Everybody in LA just had a flashback.
Hey, I didn't see any smoke, Rob. I didn't see any smoke, though. Usually there's smoke. There's, smoke effects there. I didn't see any today.
Oh, you just need smoke? Hold on.
No.
Oh, here we go. I think you got a question. Well, there we go. There we go. Now I feel better. Crazy is asking you, would the question count?
Yes, it better, because 3 people have already put it in a video.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I bet. Now, because it has to be. What did you say the rules are? It has to be in the CLZ app under Q or something.
I mean, if you don't have the app, it doesn't matter. If you have a basic knowledge of alphabetization when it comes to titles, then it should be okay. So it's got to.
I think I got it.
But if anything has like A before Q, like a question, then it still gets filed under Q. Same thing with the. If it says the question, then it still files under Q. So A and little things like that don't end up counting when you alphabetize a collection. But some people are getting kind of like, a little bit way out there, So
well, here's a better question. If you have something that's just a number, like Marvel's 1602, do you file that at the very, very front, like in front of Amazing Adventures, or do you file that under like S for 6?
It goes by the number.
Or do you file it under M for Marvel?
Well, if most of the time,
you just started off at the very front of the first box.
You just open the indicia, and it will say there's very few books that start off with a number. Most of them will say, like you said, Marvel. So that would be filed under M. But if it truly was just a number, like if the name of the book was the number 69, then that would go right up front. And then I guess you could put a second copy in the back. But anyway, we got
2001 A Space Odyssey. 2001 A Space Odyssey. I put that in the front, Rob, if that answers your question.
There you go.
So I would put 1602, I think, would go right before that. Yeah.
Yep. I'm with you.
Yeah.
2001. But it's still like a Marvel Comics group book, so I'd probably still put it under Marvel Comics 2001. But if I just see a number, I'm just going to stick it at the front of
that goes into 2001. Yeah. What's the indicia say? What's the first crack that bad boy?
Space Odyssey right there.
Is that what it says in the indicia?
Yeah. Yeah, that's what it says. Yeah.
So that goes in the number section.
Yeah.
So like in my cabinet, I have a board. This is my divider. And it just has a little pound sign, number sign, or as the kids are saying these days, those hipsters, it's got a hashtag. A hashtag. So that's what that is. And everything behind it, which is not much. So I have like this goes under 3D Alien Terror. So 3 is the first thing.
3, yep.
So, and then this one is 3D Exotic Beauties. Nice LB Cole cover. Look at that.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, Bub loves to do his contests based on these just bizarre, circumstances. Like first it was zeros, then it was Wolverines that you could find in your comic room, and now it's Q.
Well, it's different, and I know that it makes it harder.
Well, that's true. That's true.
But I mean,
that's a good way of putting it.
How many contests have you had where it's just like, show me your top 3 favorite books from a single character? I mean, that gets old.
Yep.
Lots. And everyone participates. You end up with 60-something entries, And I'm a little bit on the lazy side when it comes to watching all these entries and getting them all together.
True.
And I like low odds. Like, I know it's not popular in the community, and I'm okay with that, But
well,
like when people are like, "Hey, and share this YouTube auction," I'm like, "Why would I invite competition? Like, I'm not doing that. Like, I'll come.
Oh no!
And I don't even let anybody know that I'm there until I bid on a book. I don't come in and say, "Hey, I'm at the auction." Like, I watch a lot of auctions, and if I don't bid on any books, you don't even know I'm there.
Bob, I have a story for you. First, am I allowed to say the S word?
Is it shitstorm?
Yeah, okay, fine. Then
No.
I have some shit to tell you. The reason why I have these X-Men in front of me here before me now is I didn't have them before today. Yesterday, I wound up telling some people, hey, my local comic shop is having a claim sale, so you might want to check it out. But I told him, hey, if you find these specific X-Men books, and they were like low 100s, if you find them, just set them aside. He sent me 4 pictures, and then I say, okay, I see a thunderstorm alert coming. I can drive on up there. He said, fine, I'll have your total when you get here. I get there. He gives me the X-Men 198 and Defenders 4. And I'm like, where's the rest of it? He sold it. The guy that was helping him out with the sale didn't realize he set these books aside for me, and he sold them right out from under me. So I went, wow, you know what? I'm good. I don't need the 198. It's a $5 book I can get anywhere. I don't want anything today. So then I went to CJ's Comics in Broward, and if you get a chance, if you're down here, go to CJ's. And I picked up pretty much everything for about maybe 300.
Right.
Cool.
That's cool. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Cool. And now I have 94 all the way through 300 uninterrupted.
And giant size 1, I'm assuming.
200s.
Yeah, there's a couple in there that I don't want, but but most of them are fantastic.
Hey, Bub, you got your first super chat.
Where? Hey, look at that! It just popped up. All right.
Oh, hey, just a weekend.
Didn't say anything. That's awful nice. You guys should have heard the mean things I made. I make other people do for my $2.
Yeah. Could you invite me to the woman cave? I remember that one.
I won't even say what I made JB say live on the air. That was fun stuff. That should go in the Hall of Fame, though. Thank you, Rod, for your support.
Good job, man.
And Geek Aficionado, it's called CJ's Comics in Broward County off of US 1. Hell no. Why do I keep
don't say that?
I haven't no word.
That was the whole point.
Alf number 48. And every time it comes up, some asshole's trying to sell it for like $300 or $400. Really, this is just a 9. Someone had like a $499 book for a 7.0.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, it goes for crazy money. I know. It's nuts. It's nuts. I know.
Well, did you have so do you not have that book? Or are you just trying to get it?
What was that?
Are you trying to get that book?
What book?
The Al 48.
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah. That's why I have an alert on it. But I've been trying to get it for the longest time, and I keep seeing it for like the just higher and higher values. No one puts it for like underneath $100, even for like a mid-grade condition, and that's all it's worth.
Yeah, it took me 2 years to get that book affordably.
I will get it one day. One day.
Scott is asking why. Scott, that that cover is very sexually suggestive. Let's put it that way.
It is not.
It looks like Alf is raping a seal.
You don't know. The seal may have asked for it. Did you see what it was wearing?
That's right. Classic definition. But nevertheless, the seal looked pretty uncomfortable and was sliding down, and there was moist, just the word moist all over, despite the fact it wasn't used on the cover.
Very suggestive. Very suggestive, I'd say.
Looking at it.
Yeah, it's very suggestive. How that got past the comics code, I do not know.
I think it's obvious. Innocent.
I mean, to be fair, back in the early 90s, editors were barely paying attention to those books at all. They're like,
I know, but
how bad can it be?
I could understand inside, but it's on the cover. You know, could they at least look at the cover? No, that they just passed the book there.
Finally, I had to grab that out. About broke a finger getting that slab out from 17 other slabs. So I hope you appreciate this. Now we're going to look at it. All right.
There you go, Scott.
That is the cover.
There you go. Alf 48, and he's clearly not. He's fine. He's just enjoying his time with the seal. They're razzling, if you will.
Yeah, Alf's enjoying himself.
And it says, "So hurry up already." But what?
Well, look what it says up top. Do not buy if safety seal is missing.
Right.
Oh, God.
Because he's wrestling this. He's holding the safety seal quickly,
so he doesn't get away.
Right.
Yes, I understand that. Yes, I understand.
Hey, seal, I'm going to chain you to the radiator and then go eat a cat and come back for you.
Hide your cat there, Rob. You never know.
You never know. He's coming through the screen at you. Well, I did what all I could. You guys are on your own. If you can't keep your mind out of the gutter, I don't suggest you buy kitty books. That's the way I look at it.
I blame the artist on that one.
Who is the artist? Isn't it funny how sometimes you buy these books for just the artist, and then other times you could care less who the artist is? So this is a Dave Manak cover, or Manak. You think that's a fake name? Like it's really Melmac? Dave Melmac?
Wouldn't be surprising. I mean,
Melmac, isn't that the planet that?
Melmac is the name of the planet that Alf came from. Yes.
Alf is from,
Yeah, that's what it is.
Anyway, but that's a novelty cover, so the artist is not really the selling point. So that's probably why it's nobody knows who that is anyway.
It's like that. What is it? Doctor Strange, I think issue 15, where it has the singer that was that sued Marvel.
Because Amy Grant. Yeah, the Amy Grant.
Yeah,
exactly. What is the seal doing? That's the point. The seal could have been a malicious seal. You don't know. Always blaming Al.
It says right there it's a safety seal.
Yeah, but well, whatever.
Not a malicious seal.
I think that seal should
whatever.
Anyway,
it's not the point. Are we ever going to get to the topic?
I'm pretty sure.
I was going to say that's
It shows, there's a reason why it took me 2 years to invite Rob onto this show. This is the reason. I don't think he's containable. Let's get.
That doesn't really happen. I can't be contained. I just wind up bouncing around subjects like Holden Caulfield.
I know. I'm trying to have a near miss.
Oh, jeez. What a reference that one is. Holy smokes.
I missed it. That's all right. I can stay missing it. We got. All right. So what do we got? What is the topic for tonight? Rob.
I was pretty sure that the topic was the superheroes and what you like about their origins. Now I'm seeing the original originator.
Hey, there you go. Welcome. Welcome to the show, Rob.
There we go. Faces Comic Chat.
All right. Glad you can make it. Thanks for stopping by. Do you guys who wants to go first? I say we let Roger talk because it hurts him when he doesn't for a while. Roger, what tell us something you like about a good caricature origination story there.
Well, it's a multifaceted I suppose, but the one aspect that I like is the kind of consequential origin, where they got into a situation that they didn't really want to become a superpowered or a hero or an anti-hero, a villain or whatever, but because of the circumstances they would put in, they ended up becoming one. For example, Johnny Blaze.
Right?
So he was a daredevil, which obviously well, he was, he was used to taking risks and so forth, and his, mentor was going to die, so he made a deal with the devil. Never a good idea. And on a technicality, he got bamboozled, and the guy still died, and he was cursed. So, that kind of dynamic and that kind of convergence of events that lead to ultimately to his creation, I think is very interesting, because it wasn't his intended goal, but it happened because of the circumstances surrounding the situation he got in. So I like that kind of weird kind of circumstances where the outcome is very different from what was expected.
I like that. I like that a lot. What do you think there, Roberino? You got anything that you like about what makes a great Origin story? So we got Roger saying that he likes it when it's kind of an unintentional origin, and even the character is expecting one outcome and ends up kind of stuck with these powers and has to make do. What do you think?
I like it when sometimes the hero doesn't even know that he's being duped into doing the wrong thing. So sometimes you can be paid off to do the wrong thing and still wind up turning your life around to become a schizophrenic superhero that is functional for the large part. Much like an addict can't hold a job or his own series for longer than about 36 issues.
Yeah.
And I like the guy. He's a fighter. He's an underdog, and I like the underdogs.
I didn't know that you liked Jack Russell so well. That's good to know. He's a big Jack Russell fan. Yep. That's what we got.
Yeah.
No, he's talking about them there Moon Knight, Mark Spector. Is that name Mark Spector?
Mark Spector, the Moon Knight.
Mm-hmm. That's the one.
Well, just because he has multiple personalities does not necessarily mean he's schizophrenic, Rob. I mean, possibly, but we don't know that for a fact.
Different people that write him don't exactly know how to catalog the mental problems that he might have, so they just use whatever word comes to mind.
It's a good word. It has that impact. Multiple personalities is kind of weak. You know what I mean?
MPD.
You're right.
Now this is interesting.
More critical MPD.
This is interesting. We've got a comment here. Deadpool the Awesome says Johnny Blaze's story is very good, and in my opinion, better than a lot of Ghost Riders, especially the newest version, Robbie something or another. I guess he's not a big Robbie Reyes. I've met a big Robbie Reyes fan, but that's okay. But what I want to mention about this comment is, what about when you have new versions of a character? Then you kind of have a chance, because the writers certainly, and the editors, of course, well, it used to be. I don't think there are editors now, but used to be that they really wanted a new direction for a character. And with that, often, most of the time, came a brand new origin story with only small links and ties to the original one. So now you get a chance to choose your favorite origin story for the power set at hand. Sometimes that works to great effect. I know a lot of people like Danny Ketch as the Ghost Rider, and a lot of people like Johnny Blaze. I don't know that anyone necessarily. I'm sure some people like Robbie Reyes, but I don't think he's got as much popularity with his origin as the other two have.
Yeah, he's fairly new too. Oh, look at Rob bringing up you copycat, you.
I don't have that book. I'm not necessarily looking for that book though, but that's all right. The Goose Rider.
There he goes, a 5. I have a 5, just not in that good a shape.
Hey, what are you knocking that 5 for? I'll take it back.
Oh, I love my 5.
I
love my 5. I love my 5. I love it. Just saying.
Period sometimes is enough.
Let's see what Crazy Guy Comic Song 2 Crazy says. I was disappointed when they took Sunfire away from the original X-Men team. Oh, really? I truly identify myself as a child of being different, just like the characters. That's the reason and birth of my love, I assume, for the X-Men. We lost the rest of that. But yes, that makes sense.
Yep.
It's hard for me that one of the things, and I was going to bring this book up too, Wolverine's origin story. So there's an example of an origin I think that got it kind of wrong. I like some, and there's not many of them, but some characters' origins are best mysterious and is a defining characteristic for the character. And I think this really kind of ruins that. And I don't like how it was canonized going forward. I would have been okay with it as an Elseworlds kind of thing. But once they canonized it, and now everywhere it says, Wolverine, alias Logan / real name James Howlett. I'm like, boo.
So are you saying that it was more of a low point from Jeff Loeb's career while he was about to start writing heroes, long past his fresh days when he was writing the color series like Spider-Man Blue and Hulk Gray, the good stuff? This is like Nader, the bottom of his run.
Did he do that? No, this is Jenkins, Kubert, and
crap. You're right.
It's acid my acid.
Why am I thinking Jeff Loeb when I'm thinking this?
Because you're thinking of his Death of Wolverine run, I would assume.
Oh, yeah.
Which is pretty good, actually, I thought. But yeah, so I mean, when they came up with this origin, I just felt like it was interesting at the time and it was exciting. But then at the same time, I was like, yeah, you know what? I'd rather just left it the way it was. I didn't think that it added enough to make me excited. So
did you not like it that he was a sickly kid that turned out to be James Howlett, or were you more disappointed that he didn't turn out to be Dog?
I decided that, I didn't like that Sabretooth didn't turn out to be Dog, if you're going to go that route. And then I also decided that I liked it better as a mystery. I just liked it better as a mystery. I liked not knowing, and I liked that the character didn't know either. That was better, I
mean, the reason why I get, but I entirely agree with you. I would have preferred it to remain a mystery, but back then Joe Quesada was going, they're making movies now, and they're going to just decide to do their own origin, and then that's going to be the origin that people know from watching movies. So we're going to do it first. I just wish they didn't. Yeah,
I didn't like it. Yeah. And actually, the movie version also furthers it for me. When I see that, I go, no, just not good enough for me. Like you could have just left that alone. Yeah, Dog he's a character in the book that's like the arch nemesis of young poor James Howlett. I'm like, whatever.
At first, he seems like he's gonna be Wolverine. He's just this feral little child, this little bully.
Yeah.
And then, as it turns out, nope. Not at all. We don't even know if that's Sabretooth. We don't know anything about Dog other than that was it. But it could have been Romulus from that Wolverine Origins.
Yeah, I don't know what that was. But he ends up coming back. Dog ends up coming back in Origins 2 and in the Wolverine Origins series. So he comes back, and he's definitely not Sabretooth. So they do clear that up. But it's just I don't know. So to me, sometimes these recreations or retellings of the origins are kind of just cash grabs. That's what this was to me. And like Rob said, a chance to beat other media to the punch because they weren't going to let that be a mystery forever. So
I just can't see Wolverine have anything to do with farming and gardening. And
it sucks.
It
sucks. Now, getting back to the topic, though, my favorite type of origin story is similar to Rogers in that I like when they do. I'm just pointing over here to Flash's origin story. I like accidents that occur, kind of like Roger does, but I also like them to be realistic accidents. Now, I know a lightning bolt into a lab is not exactly that realistic, but stay with me here. Assuming the physics and the chemistry and everything checks out, right?
Okay.
Then I like when a character is created in a way that they could function in the real world. I also like that until things got a little crazy, that I like when a character only has one power. And the Flash has only one power, and yet, of course, through the evolution of comics and story, they have given him more powers, but those powers are derived from the original power. He's moved so quick, he can get through walls. Okay, at least the first part is he's moving so quick, and only the Flash can do that, right? Or he's moved so fast, he altered time. Okay, I'm not crazy about it, But at least it starts with he moves so quick and that's an original power. But when you have some characters who just like have these grab bag of that's why I'm not a big cosmic fan. Like the Marvel cosmic stuff, I don't really get into that because I don't like all these grab bag powers where you can fly. Stop right there. That's already a superpower. Like, do you need to fly, shoot fire from your hands, create rockets out of your eyes, and do you need all those powers? I think that's a bit much. I think one superpower should be enough. So that's all. Sorry.
Honestly, I'd think truly when it comes to all these superheroes that ultimately it comes down to the supporting cast, because it doesn't matter how powerful your character is. If he has a supporting cast that are just normal little mortals like you and me that can get injured or killed, that if his or her identity's compromised, then there you have some good story. If somebody is super powerful, can do anything that they want, and has no weaknesses, no friends, it's unimportant, not relevant, and boring to read from a reader. So you have to put some really good character development into your background supporting characters. Otherwise, no one gives a crap about your main superhero.
But doesn't it cheapen it, though?
Go ahead.
Can it cheapen it, though? I mean, because when you have like a crack team of scientists behind you, to me that kind of cheapens the idea of him having the powers. Like I like the superheroes who are kind of more alone in their powers, not
Spider-Man making his own web shooter instead of it being organic, something that he created himself. He was on his own to do.
Okay, so that's one of my problems with Spider-Man. I wasn't going to mention Spider-Man, but there you are, stirring it up, Rob.
You open the door, Rob. You open the door.
So
here we go.
So here's the problem. That's one of the problems with Spider-Man. If he is so smart and so ingenious that he can create this super tensile, web shooter that has all these huge industrial purposes, military purposes. I mean, the guy was already set to be a billionaire, and instead he's struggling to get there to math class on time while running around in his pajamas, using this super expensive, or what would be super high-tech stuff to string bad guys from lampposts. To me, either his superpower is that he's super smart and can build, is able to create stuff like that, or he got bit by a radioactive spider. You pick and choose, because it never really says that in the origins of Spider-Man, it makes it seem like he's not any smarter because of the spider bite. So the spider bite didn't give him any intelligence. He already had the intelligence. So he didn't need the spider bite. He already had quite a bit going for him. Whereas like Tony Stark with all of his tech, that makes sense because that really is his only power, is that he's very intelligent. So that's where I'm at.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one.
I agree with you again, because during the run with Superior Spider-Man, one of the very first things that Doc Ock says to Peter in his own mind, you created these genius web shooters that you could have become a billionaire from, but instead you were living with your aunt and just floundering around through college because you didn't know any better to sell your product.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
I bet a lot of people they give credit to Stan. I mean, I give credit to Stan for the creation, a wonderful character. But they say because he's relatable, Spider-Man. In what way is he relatable? He's had some of the most gorgeous girlfriends. He's got incredible powers. He's got like Bub says, this guy could be like, he could drag Bill Gates under his foot financially if he wanted to, because he's such a genius. How is that relatable? I don't get it.
At least making him appear as much of a loser while giving you still the fantasy life of the gorgeous women and the brilliance. But you're kind of nerdy. You're still cute, even in all your movies. Every actor that plays you is no like skinny little nerd.
I don't know. Tobey Maguire was pretty hard on the eyes.
Tobey Maguire. Yeah.
I can't agree with that one, buddy.
Yeah, but
it's not me that was saying this. When I was dating like a couple girls, they're going, "Oh, I love that Tobey Maguire." It's like, really, Tobey Maguire looks so nerdy with the.
Wait a minute, Rob. If you were dating a couple of girls at the same time, you had to already wonder about their intelligence. I mean, he's sitting there.
Oh no, I was kind of bad back in the day.
Oh man.
You don't want to know really that much about my life before comics.
No, probably not. There's a bunch of people just waiting for Rob to show up in a room.
Oh man.
Well,
yeah, that's
show.
And
I love Spider-Man.
I like Spider-Man too. I just don't like when they give you more power. You don't need more than one power, unless you're like
Cosmic Spider-Man.
Who?
Cosmic Spider-Man when that started.
Cosmic in front of Ultimate everything, and and that's the other thing. I think it kind of cheapens the character also when you have multiple incarnations of the same character in the same universe. When you had Flash and the Speed Force, and you have like 18 speedsters in the DC universe. Well, now what do you need the Flash for? I mean, what's so special? Why do you need 3 versions of the Flash? You got what? You got you got Jay Garrick, if you want to go that far back, right? Then you got Barry Alice, and then you got
Wally West. Yeah,
you got
Impulse
West. You got West Virginia. You got
West Virginia.
What? I'm confused. That's we'll
you
figure it
have
out.
others too. You have Johnny Quick, etc. But yeah, I see what you mean. It does get a little derivative. Now I can sort of understand Wally West because that was kind of like Batman Jr. Superman Jr. You had Flash Jr. Right? So I can understand that. Right, but
he wound up having his own family, 2 kids, and then all of a sudden, bang! Hey, here's Barry again. Where did Wally and his family go? Who cares? Fuck you. We're back down to Barry. Catch up. But I and the kids. Nope, sorry, doesn't matter anymore. Aww.
Well, like Mastodon saying, okay, so then I don't like Superman. Here's the thing: Superman is an alien. You can give an alien as much as you want. But when your powers are derived from freak accidents or any kind of circumstantial, right place, right time, and boom, it happens to this person, like only one spider bit one Peter Parker. But then all of a sudden you got these other incarnations of Spider-Man. Where'd they come from? All the instances that a spider bit somebody, it's a little silly. But when you have Superman, that makes more sense. The power of the sun. I think his origin story is actually one of the best. And that it takes away all those other things because he's an alien, the power of the yellow sun gives him this, that, and the other thing. That works. And then there's other aliens showing up from his planet too, and aliens from other planets. Okay, I'm good with that. So that works for me.
How about we go with some androids, robots?
See, I'm good with androids and robots.
So one, you have that was the last survivor of Superman of his planet, and then you find out there was another survivor. He's now the bad guy.
That happens every 20 issues of Action Comics. You can't
count. There's always somebody coming up. Yeah.
Always another Kryptonian survivor.
Yeah. There was somebody on another moon, somebody in another dimension.
That entire
somebody
planet was escape asteroids. The whole planet never actually blew up. Just everyone escaped at the same time, and it looked like it blew up.
There was a bigger population after it blew up than before it blew up.
Yeah, literally 10 issues right after this came out. That's when Supergirl pops up.
Supergirl, yeah.
Hey, now that was worth it. I'd like to get that one. Is it 252 or what is it?
This is 242. 252 is when Supergirl pops up.
Right. Yeah, I'm after that book, but it's just a little pricier than I want for it.
Well, if you want it a little cheaper, the issue before this one, issue 241, is the first appearance of the Fortress of Solitude. It's like right in this time period is when everything major happened to Superman.
Yeah. I like that. Look, Man Cave says, welcome, Man Cave, by the way, and a few other people that have snuck in here. He's saying you're casually throwing fire out there. Rob doesn't casually throw fire. He's got a short box of about 12 books that he has ready for every live stream. And then he just works his narrative around showing those books. Yeah. So it's all good.
Yeah. He's locked and loaded. He's locked and loaded every stream.
Right. Oh, we got John's count. Look at him. Woo. Hey, no faces.
I didn't see a face.
Oh, I must have been a cat wearing them.
It was a glare. It was a glare.
And that's it. Just a short box.
No, I'm saying close to you, ready to go.
Yeah, I actually do. I'm totally lying.
Well, we got Mastodon. Let's we got Comics on the Mind. What's going on there? Mind Shift. We got John's Comics with Kids. Metarog is still here. We can't shake him. We got Conquistador's Hobbies in the house. Crazy Guy. Comic Song Too Crazy. I know we've mentioned it before, but still. Cardstock Variant. Welcome. Great to have you here. We got the man from Beantown. Awesome. Gray Man's in the house. Let me know if I missed anybody. I may have, but we're rolling along anyway. Night Tiger's in the house for a minute.
Night Tiger,
this Superman Spider-Man show. No, it's not. It just
we diss everything. We diss everything. We don't discriminate per se. But yeah, Rob, that I like that. Of course, the Vision was also a Golden Age character, as you probably know.
Yeah.
This is the second time a Vision was used. The first Vision was way back from like 1941 or 42.
Correct. In fact, that cover is the splash page from the first appearance of the Golden Age Vision. It's the homage to that.
Yeah, that's true.
I was not aware of.
Yeah, the colors are different, obviously.
Color scheme is different. Yeah, that's more,
and it is a little different overall.
There's but the smoke and the characters are pretty much in the same place.
Yeah,
but I like that this was a creation that kind of went awry, I suppose. I mean, it was created by another robot and imprinted with the mind of another character, and that melding created the Vision. So that was some creativity involved in that.
Well, what I like about it, I think one of the things with androids is that they're not like all Doombots, where they all come out exactly the same and they're all kind of boring and it's just a legion of the same robot. Usually there has to be something with the android or the robot that is distinctive to their creation that makes them unique and more powerful, or more, maybe if it's a hero, makes us more sympathetic to them. Like I personally like the original Human Torch better than the Fantastic Four Human Torch. And there's a difference. The original one, Golden Age Human Torch, is an android, and the other one's a human. I like the interesting part of it being an android. I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah. Now, why did they call the android Human Torch? I don't know, but that made no sense. But
well, Roger, until now I hadn't thought about it, and now I don't like you very much for that. I don't.
Well, listen, the queue goes way back behind me. Okay. Way back there.
All right. Well, I like my androids. I like my robots. I like my Johnny Fives.
Johnny Five alive.
Is alive. I like all that stuff. All good stuff.
Input.
Danger.
Danger, Will Robinson. Danger, Will Robinson.
What I just read recently about writer Roy Thomas here, he did not want to create new characters because he was worried about getting paid any kind of royalties. So he would just use old characters and just retrofit them for modern day 1968, 1969.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's right. That's why you have, Captain America revival and Human Torch revival, essentially.
Yep.
A lot of revivals were going on at that time because of that. And let me tell you, even if they had they just didn't want to have the legal fight for them, because Marvel, I think, had a essentially an agreement that anything you create that's published in our publication is the property of the company. But they didn't want to have the legal wrangling around that, So yeah, that was the typical kind of tactic that they used to get around that.
You guys start over. I had to step away, says Chaos Comics.
He's probably going to start blaming his Wi-Fi in a minute, which is apparently as spotty as he needs it to be. Wonder Man was like, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he was printed with the brain patterns of Wonder Man. Yes.
Cool.
Yes,
I did not know that. See, I learned something new almost every month.
I think that was retconned at some point, though, because Wonder Man came back after he was a zombie. Remember, he came back and he had his regular brain. So something, there was some kind of retconning going on with the Byrne and the West Coast Avengers too, which I don't recall. So, as you were saying, Bub, sometimes the origins are expanded to the point where sometimes you don't even recognize the original origin because it goes so far afield.
Yes.
And I somebody correct me, but I think that somewhere along the line that was retconned so that it wasn't really his brainwaves or something, or he just needed the brainwaves to activate or something.
Right up here, what war did he fight in initially, and what war, at least in continuity now, did he fight in currently?
Talking to you, Roger.
Who are you referring to?
You, Roger.
Punisher.
Punisher. Vietnam War. Vietnam War originally, because he was in the Nam. He was in the Nam comic from way back when. I haven't read it since the 90s, so I don't know if they Gulf War or whatever. I don't know what they
during the Bourne saga, that was like the last time he was still an old man that fought in Vietnam. And then somewhere along the way, during one of the most recent updates, they made it so that yes, he fought in the Gulf War.
Ah, okay. That was just a guess on my part, Rob.
No, Chaos was right, and you are correct as well.
That's crazy.
That was a total guess.
That's way more than we need.
I mean, right now, Magneto is still somebody that was in World War II, that was in an internment camp, and he took the Infinity Formula, and I guess, and that's why he can still look as young as he is now, relatively. That's why Nick Fury can still look relatively young as well, but they still have to update continuity. Otherwise, every time you see a newspaper from the 90s that says 1998, Spider-Man would be in his like goddamn 50s by now.
I think you just ignore continuity. I don't know why comics these days, and really I kind of blame people like John Byrne, who really wanted to force the continuity in his writing, and I liked it at the time, but it seems like it's got so complicated, and you have to retcon and rewrite and do everything and then reboot an entire universe and then make extra universes to combat that so you can bring old characters back. It's just too much. I don't care. You don't have to explain to me why so much has changed. So at this point in his life, he's this age. At this point, he's that age. Just tell me in the beginning. And now we have Peter Parker, age 22. Okay, that's fine. I don't care. So he's got a cell phone. And the last time he was age 22, he didn't. I don't care. It's fine. Doesn't have to be so precise for me.
Even before Byrne, though, Marvel, Stan Lee, Roy Thomas, Englehart, those guys, they were very, very cognizant of continuity and very tight on the editorial part when it comes to that. So that if you were editing Spider-Man and you had him as a guest appearance somewhere, you had to get the approval of the editor on the main title before you did a story that would in any way, shape, or form alter, his current history. So it was way before Byrne. Byrne, you're right. I mean, he was a slave to that to a good degree, but he got that because that was the Marvel way at the time.
I mean, I'm good with that, but I think the problem is multiple storylines with a single character trying to keep them all coherent together. It just doesn't work. You can do a mini series if you want to do a story outside of regular continuity. That's fine. Then if you're going to have an ongoing title, there was a time, although it was brief and a long time ago, when a character didn't appear in more than one book a month.
Like Wolverine that appeared in like every book every month, and you wondered, what's he doing Monday at 1:00? Oh, he's over in this title. What's he doing Monday at 5:30? Oh, he's in Mad Report. What about at 8:00? Oh, he's over in Japan for an issue of Infinity War. What about at 1:00 in the morning? Oh, he's back in the United States so he can appear in X-Force. He was just everywhere.
Yeah.
It was annoying. Same thing with Spider-Man. There was a time they put Spider-Man on every single cover.
Everything.
He was in every single title just to get people to read it. And I understand that they had a job to do to get people to like other books, but I just don't see, if you were going to do that, then you should have suspended the ASM, or you should have suspended the regular Wolverine run for that month and put him in the other book. You have to. I would prefer seeing suspensions of titles where he's off working on doing something else than I am having 5 books come out in the same month. And then just because Captain Marvel is coming out in the movie theater, now Captain Marvel is a feature of every book for the month, and she's everywhere. It's like, it just gets annoying.
Well,
I didn't notice as much with the Venomized covers, but I noticed it with the Captain Marvel.
Yeah. Well, again, corporations are now ruling the day with Marvel and DC. So, and the bottom line is they got to make money. So, otherwise you go to the board and they're saying, why aren't you making money? So, if Spider-Man is selling, they're going to put a title out every single week because they know they can sell that title.
Right.
And et cetera, et cetera. And when a movie comes out and they, these people have, I don't know for a fact, but I'm sure they have every statistic possible about when spikes happen and characters when related to the movies and when they come out and et cetera, et cetera. So that's all part of the strategy to sell, product. It's not based upon the anything to do with the story arcs. It has to do with selling product at that point.
It just seems like the left hand doesn't know what the right hand's doing when it comes to the film and comics division. Because whenever something's about to drop on a Friday for release in movie theaters, you'd expect that a brand new issue #1 or a mini series or a new storyline would start. And instead it's like 2 weeks later or 3 months later, if at all. Or it's way too soon and they do the prelude to the Avengers and it spoils most of the movie.
Yeah.
I say I didn't know that. I didn't know that was the case. I thought they would be a lot more on top of that than that.
No, they were never. Neither company is very good at that.
I think that they concern themselves a little too much with separated storylines. They want it to be like back in the day, right? What a lot of those, I guess that's more for when there was a character in the movie that then transitioned into comics. So I'm thinking about a lot about movie adaptations, and you don't see much of that right now. You don't see a movie adaptation of Iron Man. You don't see a movie you don't see them translate back into a comic. And I think that would be cool to do. And then I think the reason you don't see it is because they don't know what to do with the story after that. Okay, so now we've got this story that we basically took from the movie, but we can't further the story in any way or add any new information because they may go against that in the next movie.
Yep.
So they abandon all of that and just say, you know what, instead of doing any of that, we'll just, after people have seen the movie, like Rob said, it's not usually before or during, it's after people have seen the movie. Okay, now that people are aware of this character, we'll put a film-ish version of the character, that corresponds to the character's portrayal in the film in comics and see where it sticks. A great example of that is Nick Fury. Nick Fury had a huge, long history, of being Nick Fury, looking like Nick Fury, acting like Nick Fury, and he was much more of a soldier turned awkward spy. Because even when he was Nick Fury, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., he wasn't really like he wasn't like James Bond cool, No, he was a working spy. He was putting in a hard.
He was a roughneck spy.
Yes, he was a brute, basically.
Yeah.
And now we have this new version of Nick Fury, who's the Sam Jackson version, and they put him in the comics, and he doesn't do anything. Like he just stands around and spews. What is him?
Sounds cool.
Yeah, he just stands around and sounds cool. He doesn't do anything. He's not a working spy. He's not a working soldier anymore. He's just like a guy pulling the strings, and it sucked. Yeah. So there's a time when, and I'm not against the Sam Jackson version of Nick Fury in the movies. I think it kind of works, but when they transitioned and said, okay, now this is a definitive version and put that in the comics, I think it changed a lot. The same thing happened with Batman in 66. You got the TV show comes out and all of a sudden they bring, Alfred back from the grave and they throw him in there. And now you got Batgirl in there and everything in the comics turned, it was DC already. There was plenty of camp, but it got extra campy and extra silly stories when that show came out. So, I don't know if that is. I guess I would prefer the comics to influence the movies more than the other way around, because it seems when it happens the other way around, I'm generally disappointed.
Well, when the guy is Ike Perlmutter that wound up paying billions of dollars for Marvel, if he says he wants the Inhumans to be pushed and the X-Men to be pulled, you do what he says because he pays the bills.
I know.
Yeah. That was again, but when you have, again, this all depends on the circumstances surrounding it. But when you have somebody like Perlmutter, who is not a comic guy making comic decisions, that's when disasters start to occur, because they're making business decisions, but you have to sort of meld the two, and I think in order to be successful, because us geeks, we don't care about the business side. We care about the characters, and we're not going to buy stuff if the characters are doing stuff which is out of character. I don't know how else to put that. So
you mean like Wally West sitting in the Mobius chair after becoming a serial killer?
Yeah, right. A very good example. Yeah, very good example. Just ridiculous kinds of just for shock value, and that only goes so far. I mean, for that you have What Ifs and you have Elseworlds.
Well, then what do you call the current Hickman run of X-Men, if not some crappy, long, drawn out What Else and What Ifs?
Because no, I have an exact title for it. I call it X-Men: The Flower Children.
There you go. Because the entire
Flower Children.
It's ridiculous. Every character acts out of character. All these bad guys are now sitting at the council table and treated like they never murdered 100 million people, and you haven't been trying to kill them back for years. It's just absolutely ridiculous. And say, oh, well, who cares about everything that happened before? Now let's just make them all a bunch of drug runners. And that's it. Wow. You guys now work for a mafia driven, and it's head up half at least by all the villains you've been trying to kill all these years, and now you're affiliated with them. And Wolverine,
to be fair, X-Men issue 5 by Hickman wound up being like the Scarface issue, where you have just Magneto and Professor X, and they're talking to the world leaders, and you see on a floor above them, on a floor below them, that there are strike teams that are converging to take out the X-Men, and their troops take them out first. And that's when you see there's a new world order. You guys just haven't seen it yet. May I have more wine, please? Yeah. It was like Hannibal Lecter. They turned him into Hannibal Lecter and Scarface.
Yep, I agree. Wow. I didn't like it. I know John likes to defend Hawksbox. I actually liked Hawksbox, House of X, Powers of X. I actually liked it, but funny. I didn't like when they transitioned it into the ongoing X-Men, because when it was just Hawksbox, it was an event. It was restructuring, if you will, and you could have left it. It could have ended with fixing all the problems that they were in, and I wouldn't have cared if I wouldn't care if you tied it up so crappily, where in the last 2 pages of each of those miniseries, you said, and then they woke up. And it was all a dream. I would have
go back to the 60s.
Yeah, exactly. And it would have been great. Just okay. That was fun. Now let's get back to superheroes fighting villains instead of them both working together in a boardroom to screw over humans. It was terrible. But anyway, there you go.
There was a giant size Emma Frost and Jean Grey that was almost completely silent. It was $5. And if they explained everything away that it was a goddamn dream, I think I'm going to have to blow up Marvel.
Wow. Well, we have really gotten off
money and time.
We have really gotten off the tracks here. Totally off the tracks.
For 2 years, I've wondered if I should bring Rob Worst on this show, and now I'm not sure if I can even keep this stream up afterwards.
Years.
I'm happy he's here.
Streaming a year.
Huh?
I haven't even been streaming for a year.
You haven't been streaming for a year?
Nope.
I feel like I've been swiping away your notifications for at least 2 years.
Oh, maybe you knew me back when I was on Twitter and just nuts there. I'm nuts wherever I go, man. Just realize that.
You've made 2 years of impressions, Rob, in 1 year.
Absolutely.
That's the way we look at it.
Great
also,
stuff.
To be fair, the last year has felt like 10.
For sure, I bet. Yeah, as you've been hanging out with Lady Fantastic too much, she gets you all amped up and then she leaves you flat.
Oh, man.
It's kind of like how I describe a comic book convention. It's like a whole lot of foreplay with no climax.
Oh, jeez. This has really gone in the gutter tonight, boy. This is really...
Yeah, we just dropped 10 viewers.
There you go.
Dropped 10 viewers. Yeah, we're down to 20. We started at 30-something. But
Yeah.
that's about
we're
normal,
coming up on
actually.
that
That's about normal.
75-minute mark, and I felt like it's time to have special hour.
Yeah, that's about
And
when we sat down too.
Of course, Bub is already like starting with his memes and all this. So.
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
Roger's not been paying attention every time his mug comes up that he gets one of these.
No, I try to like keep just like I have I have the chat on my other phone, but I have the video paused.
Oh right.
So just in case. Just in case. But I did want to say one thing before we get to the next, as far as the origins, one of my favorite ones, and what we're talking, Bub, about, when a character has a tragedy and through that finds, some kind of redemption or a higher purpose. Well, that's why I had Doctor Strange up here previously, because I think that is a fabulous origin right there. A surgeon, lots of hubris, lots of money, and then when he loses the ability to use his hands, like everything just comes like it was such a two-dimensional existence, that when one pin was taken out of the stack, everything fell down, and he went to try to get a quick fix for that malady, and ended up really actually finding his purpose in life. That kind of feel-good story where you think you know what you want, but ultimately it's something that you didn't know you needed. I love those kind of origins where they sort of twist, not like Ghost Rider, because Ghost Rider, he has to supersede the mistakes. Here he's actually looking for a cure, and he finds another level of serendipity, and those are the kind of origins that I think are very effective for me.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I like that. I do.
Also, the irony with Ghost Rider being that even though he sold his soul to save that kid, it still died.
Yeah. It was his like his mentor, his like a father figure. Yeah, because he said, because Satan says you're not going to die of whatever it was, cancer or whatever it was, and then he died in another way. That kind of thing.
It's like, I promise you, I won't shoot you in the head.
Yeah, semantics can get you every time. That's
exactly.
That's the lesson there.
Yeah. Make sure that shit is airtight.
You have such a way with words, Rob. You just do. You're a wordsmith to the hilt.
I do what I can.
Oh, you do more than that. You do more than you can.
My service to the community. This is a PSA by Not Near Mint.
Yes, if anyone wants to be serviced by Rob further, just go over to his channel. He'll get you taken care of. He's been servicing the community for
advertiser and comics. Yeah, bring that.
Yeah, comics. All right, guys, let's wrap up this crap fest. We've got Metarog. What do you got going on your fine Demdare channel?
Oh, well, tomorrow I'm going to start a series on the appearances and the history of Tigra, or is it Tigra? However it is. Is it a high I or a lower I? And of course, I have my roundup on Thursday. And then I think on Sunday, I'm actually doing a special with King of Comicdom and Solid. I forgot what Shannon. He has a very complicated name. Solid 5-string bottom end, and we're going to talk about the black and white magazines, the non-hero ones. That's going to be on my channel on Sunday night. So that's what I have up this week.
That sounds good. That's actually a light week for you.
It is.
Yeah.
Oh, because I don't have graders notes. That's true. I don't have graders notes.
True. Yeah. All right, Rob, what do you got coming up on your there, Chanel?
So usually we don't talk about what we're doing until tomorrow night, even though I've been trying to see if we can get it done earlier. But all I know so far is this new Comic Book Wednesday and the return of it on the 20th. So we're going to be covering that. Otherwise, look forward to our show, Not Near Mint, on my channel, Not Near Mint, Wednesdays, 10 p.m. Eastern Time. Lady Fantastic, Comics on the Mind, and Miracle Man.
Nice.
Hey, that's right. You got Kirk in there now. That's right.
Yeah,
that's right. Yep. Good one. Good one there. Good. He's a good guy.
He's another one that you can't find on, or we already talked about that. He doesn't have a YouTube channel, right?
Yeah, he has a YouTube channel.
Yeah, he does.
Who does?
No, Miracle Man does.
Yeah, and Comics on the Mind has a great Instagram. Comics on the Mind is Mind Shift on Instagram with a Y, the mind part, not the shift part. And it's very. He's got a great Instagram page too. If you haven't checked that out, I highly recommend it. So
I put Rob's link in the chat there. So if you are not familiar with Rob, trust me, you'll want to see this gentleman.
How'd you get a wrench, Roger?
I don't know. I had to fight off a bunch of people here to get it. That's all I know. I lost a hammer and I lost a pile driver along the way, so I had to stay with a wrench.
Well, you didn't end up with dysentery, so you're doing all right.
You're not dead. You're not in jail. That's a win.
It's right. That's Rob. I'm gonna use Rob philosophy from now. I'm above ground and I'm not imprisoned.
Yeah, that's right.
That's a good day.
That's a win all day.
If you want to narrow it down further, just ask yourself this question. Did I shit my pants today? If the answer is no, it wasn't a bad day.
Oh, Rob.
Great stuff.
Oh, Rob.
All right, guys.
Too much, man.
On my Demdare channel, I don't think I've got a Golden Age book to show off, and a couple. It's going to be like a mixed haul of different things, not just comics. Coming up on my channel, hopefully Wednesday, if shipping all agrees with me. And actually tomorrow night I'll be on Kavi Comic Books NYC's channel for Original Art Hour. Hopefully that announcement doesn't run off any viewers, but but I'll be on that channel for him showing off some original art. And then on Wednesday, I'm busy Wednesday. Then on Thursday, I'm filming something with another creator that will then drop on his channel. So I won't give that away until he announces it. But we're going to do like a StreamYard filming kind of thing. And then he's going to edit it and put it up, I assume, as a premiere. So that'll be cool. And it wasn't my inspiration. It was his idea. But I did remember, Roger, remember when you did that with JPL Flash? Going over the excessive mediocrity of Roger Perez. You remember that?
George Perez.
My mistake.
Roger Perez would be a very excessive mediocrity. George Perez is spectacular.
My mistake.
George Perez.
Uh-huh.
Look. Oh, I love that poster. That is fabulous.
He drew the poster and Alex Ross painted it. 300.
That's the Last Supper? Yeah. I can't see. Is that fabulous. The Last Supper?
Yeah, that's Last Supper.
I love that painting. That's one of my favorites.
George Perez draws the Last Supper. That's a good one.
George Perez lived so long, he is so old, wearing those Hawaiian shirts that must be older than Methuselah's grandmother. And yes, he painted the Last Supper.
Oh boy.
Good stuff. And also I've got my 1K subscriber contest going on. So if you guys like really difficult contests that will probably have very few people entering, I think it might be the least entered 1K contest ever. So you've got a chance. Jump in on it, but it's self-serving, which is most of the stuff on my channel. So I'm looking forward to it. And I've loved the entry so far. It's been a real blast. Been watching them with the whole family and everybody's loving them. So great stuff. Keep them coming. And then we'll be doing a live giveaway after the 1st. So the contest ends on the 1st. So that's what I got going on. And I can't wait to hear. It's been literally years since Roger has announced one of my contests on his channel on Thursday. I'm looking forward to that.
Yes. It's coming on Thursday.
All right.
BUB'S Comics Q contest.
That's right. All right, guys. Well, we'll sign off. So for Roger, he wants to tell everybody be blessed and be back. Right, Roger?
Yeah, that sounds familiar. Yeah, and and great chat today, and great to have Rob on here. I've been wanting to be on with him on here for a while because I know he's a Miami guy, and I have a big fond part of my life in Miami. So
good. And Rob, you don't have a sign off technically, do you? Other than stay above ground and from behind bars, right?
No, I do have a sign off. It's rule number 1, kids. Don't die.
What is it?
Rule number 1, don't die.
Don't die. I like that. And rule number 2 apparently is stay on the other side of the bar.
2, if we're going to be here for a while, might as well get comfortable.
Yeah. Is rule 3 stay off the pole? I just want to know. Is that
if you raise dumb kids, the strip clubs, the year of 2020 is hiring.
Yeah, oh, you know it.
You class of 2020, they're hiring.
Yeah. Might as well get on that. There's nothing wrong with getting work in early. So
are you going to want a dance by Itchy the stripper at this point? No.
Itchy, I think they're still selling shaving supplies. I wouldn't worry about that.
Oh boy.
So anyway, we've got we better get off here.
We better
with a better show waiting to be on. So
hey, Roger's got 15 people.
So
true diehards.
Yeah, Roger. Wait, what is that? What? Oh, that's it. Roger's got somebody at the door. It's over. We got to go, everybody. Roger's got business to attend to.
Except mine's a canine and blonde.
Hey, whatever works. We gotta. Hey, love is love. That's what we say on BUB'S Comics.
Oh boy!
All right, guys. We'll catch you next time on BUB'S Comics. Remember, read a comic and don't apologize for the glare. Catch you next time. Bye bye.
I can't glare. I can never glare my comics.
There's no glare, Roger.